Hello and welcome to Show and Tell with me, Stephen Leslie, the series where I tell you about some photos but not before having shown you them first. This is episode 12, and after the last one where I failed miserably to inform you all about Walker Evans in under 10 minutes, I am completely determined to break that imaginary, arbitrary time frame and deliver a lean, mean and focused episode with no digressions. So let's get on with it. And I'm going to do it. I know I'm going to do it because today, Sunday, the 29th of January 2023, is actually my birthday. Happy birthday to me. But that means that I haven't got time for digression. I really need to get going because I genuinely have a cake downstairs to go and bake. So just like the eggs in my kitchen, let's get cracking. So what I thought I'd do today is to quickly show you a few photographs that seem to me to represent visually where I find myself now after a quite astonishing 53 years on this planet, which is both mind-boggling and frankly quite depressing to me. But don't worry, what I'm not going to do is just show you lots of photographs of me on my past birthdays. Although I did find this one photo of me age 6. But this is just a very blurry photo. I'm the one on the left there in the stripy jumper, and that's my old friend Julian next to me, and we're both standing in my parents' house way back in the 1970s. But this photo means nothing to anyone except maybe my mother. Instead, what I'm going to do is show you some other photos that can be viewed in more interesting ways. Hopefully this will make some more sense as we go along and you see the photos and you get what I'm on about. So I'm going to stop babbling and get on with it and show you the first photograph, which is this one by Cartier Bresson. And I think it's a fairly late photo for him, taken, if I have my facts straight, in Switzerland in 1991. And I just love this. But the reason I'm showing it to you now is that, like all of the photographs coming up, it has a metaphorical element. On one level, this is a photo of a man standing underneath the workings of what I assume is a ski lift. But on another level, this photo is very much a metaphor for life. The bloke seems blissfully unaware of the perilous nature of where he's standing. He even seems to be gazing off at another mountain he has yet to climb, all the way over there in the distance. So, aged 53, I definitely get this photo, big time. I identify with this bloke and his situation all day long. In fact, if for any reason that photo wasn't clear and obvious enough, you could even adorn this massive weight here with some handy stickers like, or even. However, if I wanted to be really truthful and accurate, then that photo didn't really represent the issues and the predicaments hanging over me at the moment, because unlike that bloke, I'm not blissfully unaware of them. I'm very much cognizant of the situation that I find myself in. So maybe a photograph that better represents my current life, or my current stage of life, is this one. This is a photo taken by me of my son, Fred, when he was just 1.5 or so and meeting his first dinosaur. Now, obviously, I have a sentimental attachment to this photo because it's of my son, who is now 12.5 and hurtling towards being a teenager. And so this image shoots him back to a far more innocent and naive time, but I can now also project myself into this picture and quite easily put myself in his little boots. And imagine that that dinosaur is the monster of life that I am still, now aged 53, trying to figure out how the hell to conquer. In fact, not even conquer. I don't need to conquer life. I'm just still trying to figure out how not to get squashed by it. You'll notice with all of these photos that I'm about to show you that there's a familiar theme emerging of lack of control, or daunting tasks, or even futility of trying, like this photo, which is a very bad scan of a very great photo by the phenomenal Helen Levitt from her book Slideshow, which means that this was probably taken sometime in the late 1970s or the 80s in New York. One day soon, I'm going to do a whole episode of Helen Levitt photos because I absolutely adore her work. But this image definitely speaks heavily to me, aged 53. What is this bloke doing? Is he actually trying to fix this car, which surely is beyond all help by now? Or is he just stripping it of anything salvageable? There's a battery and something else on the floor there. Is it his car? Did he do this to it himself? Or is he just being opportunistic and he's planning on doing a bunk as soon as he can? Once again, I see that car as life, frankly, and I'm the bloke, although I don't smoke, but I'm just trying to get what I can out of something that appears to have hit a wall and no longer functions properly. Although it once was quite a funky car, wasn't it? A bright red Pontiac, now bound for the scrap heap. Nothing lasts forever is one of the main messages here. Let's move on though before we get all maudlin, and because remember we're trying to do this in under 10 minutes. So the next photograph that somehow encapsulates how I feel now aged 53 is this one by Andreas Katskos, taken in Greece in 2014. Now I know nothing about what's going on here, and frankly I don't want to. This is an absolutely perfect, baffling photo. Has this bloke really just eaten his own body weight in bananas? Or has he just sat down next to a pre-existing pile and started eating his very first one? We don't know. We'll never know. However, I identify with this photo because this is exactly how I feel now that I've started this YouTube channel. I spend a phenomenal amount of time looking online and searching through books for photos to use. So all those bananas represent my research. And every time I think I've finished and got what I needed, I notice another thing, get distracted and find there's more. The great thing about photography, or one of the great things, is that it's so subjective. There's no right or wrong interpretation. A photograph might mean something to you, but it might mean something completely different to me. And that's what I absolutely love about it. Take this photo by Jeff Mermelstein, which is called Armadillo Race, Las Vegas, 1995. Incidentally, this is from Mermelstein's second book, no title here, which you can still find relatively cheaply online compared to his legendary first book, Sidewalk, which is just impossible to get without hemorrhaging cash. So anyway, occasionally I'll look at this photo and identify with the woman, in that somehow I have found myself trying to chivvy a reluctant armadillo along in a race, and the only means at my disposal for doing this is by blowing up the poor thing's arse. Life as a metaphorical armadillo race. That's not such a stretch, is it? And you could also look at this photo and think, hey, I'm winning. Look, there's another bloke way behind me there. But unfortunately, the photo doesn't also give the whole picture, does it? There could be many more successful armadillo wranglers much further out in front. So maybe the best you could say is that you're not coming last in the armadillo race of life. But there's also another way of looking at this image, which is to identify not with the woman, but with the armadillo, who presumably would prefer to be off doing something else entirely, instead of having a giant human whistling up its fundament. And so in this interpretation, the human woman is life, or a mortgage, or the pressures of a YouTube channel, or whatever. You get the idea. Okay, so we're now down to the last two photographs, and the next one is really a bit special. It's by a French photographer called Nicolas Portnoy, and I actually own a print of this photograph. I did a swap with Nicolas a little while ago, and I absolutely love it. I can honestly say this is one of my favourite photographs of all time. I mean, what can you say about this? It's just utterly baffling, but that's why it's so great. This bloke here, who could certainly be in his 50s, and he is the master of his own little universe, isn't he? I actually find this a very hopeful image. It says to me that you just need to keep on pursuing your dreams, and maybe you can make your way through life and come out on top. So this guy, what is he? A B-Day broker? Is this his outdoor office? He's moved his big, comfy, reclining chair outside. He's in his shorts. His dog's curled up on his lap, with its squeaky toy in its mouth. He's just starting to go bald on top, and he's on his phone making a deal. And that's all we can ever know. Has he just sold the B-Days? Has he just made a huge profit? Has he just taken a massive hit? Has the bottom dropped out of the B-Day market? We'll never know. But whatever is going on, he's muddling through in his own unique style, and he's going to be okay. I'm confident of that. Like I said before, this photo gives me hope and tells me to just carry on with whatever the hell it is that I'm doing. So there was a dog in that last photo. It wasn't the most important element, but it was there. And there was also an armadillo in the Mermelstein photo. And I've sort of started to realise that there's actually animals in quite a few of these photos that mean something to me. I don't know what that means, but anyway, there's also an animal in this next photo, and it's a monkey. And it was taken by the German photographer Solvin. So this extraordinary image is from 2003 and was taken on an Indonesian island, and it shows a Celebes black ape looking at his or her own reflection in a wing mirror. Presumably the creature is seeing itself for the very first time. I can't begin to explain how much I love this photo or how often I've looked at it. I bought it as a postcard when I first saw it as part of the Wildlife Photographer of the Year exhibition almost 20 years ago, and I got it home and I pinned it up over my very messy desk, and I will never ever tire of looking at it. The older I get, the more I can identify with that monkey. It even looks, now that I notice it, as if the monkey is also slightly thinning on top. But even if it's not, it certainly is thinking, what the hell? That surely can't be me. Can it? Shit, it is. Photography is the most extraordinary invention in that it allows us to see what other people have seen wherever and whenever they might have witnessed it. But also occasionally it allows us to see deeper into ourselves. No matter how varied or diverse those images might be, they can somehow speak to us, and that's why I will always love this art form. So anyway, that was a rather weird and rambling episode of Show and Tell, but hopefully I have managed to do it in just under 10 minutes. And now I'm going to go and get drunk and celebrate my birthday, but I'll be back very soon with another long, epic episode about something else. So thank you to everyone for watching, and yeah, happy birthday to me. See you again soon. Bye.